evening, Wanderers, and welcome to our Sunday night special.
We are, as always, really excited to get to hang out with y'all tonight, and we're excited that this is actually a consistent schedule again, because for a while we weren't able to do these as regularly as we had a really big secret we were keeping. But since y'all are now all in the loop,
we can have more
and tell y'all what's really going on with our lives. But tonight is not just about us. We are super excited to get we have questions for y'all this evening. If you were able to watch our video that came out tonight, you guys got to see us surprise our family and tell them that we are pregnant, or we're having a baby.
We're having a baby, right?
Although we are pregnant things. So we have tons of questions for you guys and thoughts and insights on things we need to know as first-time parents. But as always, first, the WADs. Welcome, David.
And on that note, the WADs, we have two very special guests this evening that you're going to enjoy. We have Lois joining us from outside, and also Clark. So Lois and Clark are joining us this evening for our live chat. They said it was a little bit too cold outside. They're Florida birds, so
they asked to come inside, but they wanted to keep on their Christmas outfits. And just in case anybody else has pet flamingos, these adorable little outfits are actually wine bottle decorations. Is that what you call that?
Wine, sleeve thingies. But I mean, they work great for our Florida chickens.
Yep. They love them. They're very cute. And considering we need more holiday decorations, because what you see behind us is about all we got.
It's so it's been an interesting week. We should probably start with that. We fully intended on doing a decorating the Airstream video this week.
For the
holidays. Lauren went to her sister's house. And let's
hold on, pause. Jamie and Jessica from Snowdog's Vlogs. No, you guys are awesome, and thank you for the super chat. You guys are the best.
And if you haven't watched their videos, they did a video, we did a video as well. That's the videos we were talking about where Lauren was absolutely exhausted. We did the collaboration with them. Turns out she was pregnant, and none of us knew it at the time, but
those videos were so much fun.
Oh man, it was so awesome.
Yeah,
so awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, no, we Lauren went around and made some rounds to go to her sister's house to pick up any sort of available Christmas stuff, because we didn't want to buy a bunch of Christmas stuff because we have to then travel with it and we don't know what to do with it. We probably just end up giving it away. So instead, she decided to go to her sister's house, her mom's house, and she loaded up the back of the truck.
I raided their their excess Christmas supplies.
Yeah, and then put it in our back seat. And that evening, we were going downtown to see Lauren's friend, who is a country singer. Both of them are country singers, and they're just awesome. Brown and Gray. So you definitely want to check out Brown and Gray. They're so awesome. But
we had a little bit of an incident, and if y'all follow us on Instagram, you got to see some of it. But
well, the short story is that we were walking out to our car and the alarm was going off, and I thought Lauren had accidentally hit the alarm to set it off.
You thought? No, he accused me of setting the car alarm off.
Yeah, I'm like, we were walking up to the car and it was going off.
Like, Lauren, stop setting off the car alarm. I'm like, I'm not doing it, Daniel. I'm really
not. Yeah. So I took the keys and I was like, dang, it's still going off. And that's when we saw a car pulling out from next to it and driving directly towards us. So Lauren and I suspected something was wrong and jumped over in the side to the bushes, and they drove past us. And as soon as we got to the car, we realized they were breaking into our truck.
We lost a back window.
Yeah, they smashed the back window, climbed in, broke into the center console. And there's glass all over all of our Christmas gear. So so we've been dealing with trying to get the glass replaced this week, and there's still glass that we have to vacuum up. So
But good
Unfortunately,
news,
didn't get to decorate.
we
but
found a local business who could help us get our window fixed
We did.
within like 48 hours.
Yeah.
Lawrence's Glass here in Nashville.
Kudos to them.
They were able to get us OEM glass and everything. And we even tried
Yeah.
some chains because we were just thinking we just got to get this thing done. And they were the fastest and
They were really nice.
they were great. So that
We
was
tried
cool.
Safe Light, which maybe some of you know from replacing windshields and stuff, and they were booked out like 2 weeks. And it's hard to drive around the window for 2 weeks. So called around, and Lawrence Glass, local company, hooked us up. You know, they squeezed us in, and that was really, really cool. So kudos to small businesses, you know.
So stay safe out there, y'all. As y'all probably are already aware, the holidays are a time where car break-ins are a very common occurrence, especially if you're in big city areas. Apparently, the cops let us know that there has been a issue with people breaking into specifically trucks. So if you're an RVer and you have a Ford F-250 or a larger truck, apparently they have been collecting firearms, which is a little scary, but it's a thing. So just make sure you park places with plenty of lights and people and all that kind of stuff. Stay safe.
Yep, exactly. No, things could have gone differently, and we're just glad that everything turned out
Thankful
okay.
they're safe. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mitchell, I love this. He says, because this is one of the things we want to ask y'all about tonight. So he said, I'd be the first to invite you to start an Amazon baby registry so we can help you the best we can. Sharing babies' love is good for the soul. I freaking love that, Mitchell. You're the bestest. So although I'm sure we will start a registry, the more important question here is we want to know from y'all, what are the things that need to go on the registry?
Yes. And I'm expecting some like entries here from the Wads, who have a pretty big family over there. So like what even belongs on a registry? You start Googling this and like reading about it in the books. And so we want to still be minimalist parents. And we don't need a lot of stuff. The list of things that people make you feel like you need to buy is like 7 Christmas lists long. So we would love to get you guys' insight on some of the things that are must gets for baby Fernandez. Yes. And while we're waiting for some of those entries, Mr. John Chalker, welcome this evening. Trista joining us from Montana. Thank you for joining us on our live. David, disposable diapers. That's an interesting one. Okay. That's going to be an absolute requirement. As much as we love to be as like clean and green as possible, we're pretty positive going with non-disposable diapers on an Airstream. Well, I mean, does that, I don't know. I mean, that's, don't know enough about that with the. Well, do you want to have to wash diapers? I mean, we don't have a washing machine, so. Well, we do at campgrounds. Well, I mean. I'm pretty sure they would hate us. That's so gross. Yeah. Just, woo. Brock and the Bassett joining us from Phoenix, Arizona. Becky is saying onesies, passies, bottles, blankets, baby towel. The list is endless. Pappy's Tesla, thank you for joining us this evening. Stay away from the cold states. We're doing our best to stay away from the cold states. We got baby Fernandez got its first Christmas present from my sisters and mom 2 days ago. And like this is real we're extremely intimidated by how tiny this thing is. Like well, also like I didn't realize at first I was a little weirded out because it was just like super long. I'm like, is this a bean pod? Like what kind of baby comes out looking like a bean pod, you know? That's what I thought. I showed him that you tie it. So like he has been educated. We talked a little bit about like how babies like to be like in tight spaces. Apparently this is a thing. I guess so. Yeah. Retired Life, Ollie Style. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by to say hi. Behind a Grand Adventure, baby bath supplies, washcloths, towels, clothes. So we're thinking that we'll wash the baby in the Airstream sink to start. I feel like every video I have seen of me as a small child, my parents have me in like a sink. I mean, I don't know why. Well, I mean, I guess we'd have to. Yeah, that's me looking at the sink. I'm like, I put all of my coffee stuff in there, so maybe there's. I don't know. There's a lot to think about here. Yeah, oh boy. Okay, so yes, Snowdog's vlog says the issue would be washing. Yeah, there's no way. And John, thank you. We are very excited. Pappy says Pampers are better. We have heard some very good things about Pampers. So
totally clueless on the parent stuff. That makes 2 of us.
3 of us.
3 of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No harm, no foul there.
Long enough to get you twins. That's a good one. Because Lauren, of course, has twins in her family. I think we may have mentioned that on a previous vlog.
We've already checked.
I was cheering for twins. Lauren was like,
y'all saw the ultrasound in the video. There's only one bun in the oven this go around. So fingers crossed in round 2 or whatnot, that will remain the same.
Yeah. Let's while we're waiting for those entries, because we love all of your entries and feedback. I mean, that's basically how we survived RV life. So if we can survive RV life with some comments and feedback from you guys, I feel like we can survive parenting with some comments and feedback from you guys, and a few extra prayers probably as well.
Just a few.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh.
Oh goodness.
Let's see. Mitchell, the highlighted names are assuming they're moderators. We don't have moderators. We're talking about that today. You would be one of them. I have to figure that out. I actually looked into it this morning.
And we don't know how to do it yet.
Snowdog's vlogs and WODs would know all about the moderators thing. So
we'll have to follow up with y'all on that one.
Yes. We definitely always need some moderators. If you're willing to, we would appreciate that. I mean, all in all, it's been besides a broken window, it's been a great week. I had a colonoscopy this week, which it's because the history of cancer. So it was a cancer screening, and it was all clear. So that for me is like,
that was like the best day of the week, no question. Even though it was the same day that our truck got broken into. It didn't matter.
Nothing could bring us down. Literally, like I get so nervous, I'm almost nauseous, and I feel like throwing up during the testing period. But once I get past it, gosh. So if you are due for colonoscopy, listen, I'm telling you, honestly, from my heart, bottom of my heart, like go out there and get your colonoscopies. Don't delay.
It's important.
Yeah,
preventative screening is very, very important.
Yeah.
So that was like definitely one of the highlights of the week, just getting the all clear, because
and
always a thing.
And Mitchell, there's your answer about the highlighted names. The Snowdogs vlogs and the WODs, they have highlighted names because they're pretty awesome, and they have like over 100K subs.
They're fancy.
They so fancy.
They're
YouTube fancy. Yeah, they have. they both have like the big like plaques from YouTube and stuff. They're like the real deal.
Okay,
and they're awesome people.
Brock asked if not that one. Sorry.
Yeah, Brock Bassett. Did they get anything out of
the truck? Thankfully, no. Although I think really all they were looking for was probably a gun, which we did not have in the truck.
Honestly, one of the other reasons is because we walked up on them while we were breaking into the car.
We were about 10, 15 feet away before.
We didn't realize it was happening. And that is we interrupted them while they were breaking into the car. They broke into 5 trucks that night. And in total, we've heard they've broken into over 50 this month.
Yeah.
So this happens in some of the big cities.
Truth.
Yeah,
okay, 2000 gallon. I have to see our Airstream decorations.
Yes.
Scooch over.
Oh,
Scooch
there
over.
we go.
So this is all we have gotten to thanks to the car break-in. But we have this ridiculously cute little
get a close up here.
Airstream ornament, which we found at a adorable little local shop.
Isn't that cool?
Here in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, called Chef's Market.
This is like Bambi size here, I think. This is pretty awesome. Yeah.
So we really swear, we keep saying we're going to put the Christmas decorations up. It's still on our list, but it hasn't really happened.
Yeah.
Well yet.
And speaking of, okay, so John Early, are you guys thinking of names yet? I mean, we're just like,
well, yes, of course.
Yeah, but it's all over the place right now.
Well, so we have some theories, okay? So I grew up in a family of 3 girls, and we are all L's: Lauren, Leah, and Leslie, and we are actually named in alphabetical order, according to our age. So, I mean, obviously, L's are very cool. And Daniel, I figure if L's are cool, Daniel starts with a D. He's a second generation Daniel, but has decided that doesn't really I don't know. We both want it to be a unique name.
Yes, but not like apple or blanket.
But we're calling
maybe
like lemon.
Grapefruit. That's ridiculous.
No,
that's ridiculous.
I think that one of the things that we have learned through this entire experience is every single week. So I'm on week 18 now, and this week the baby is the size of a sweet potato.
Yeah,
which is it's usually a fruit, so why they turned it into a vegetable this week is beyond me. But we now are aware of why people end up naming their children fruits, because at one point it was the size of a lemon, and that just kind of stuck. And so I've been calling it lemon, and I like it.
Yeah, that's not gonna stick. I'm gonna make sure of that. No kid is going to be named after a fruit. Gwyneth Paltrow named her kid Apple, but that's not happening here.
But if you guys have good, unique names, especially if they start with an L or a D.
Literally, any name that you think that's sort of unique. We want to stay away from all of the popular pop culture type names.
Well, because with Daniel and I, both of our names are like
common, super common. Daniel, Lauren, like
I think there were like 8 Laurens in my high school class. Like,
so true.
So
yeah, like when your name is so common that when you go to Starbucks and call out your name, like 4 people walk up.
Your
like, we don't want that. Not because of the Starbucks thing, but because like everybody has the exact same name as you, I think.
But we also want it to be a name that's like phonetically spelled correctly.
That's true.
Because you don't want that kid to be the kid in kindergarten that like the teacher can't pronounce his name.
Yeah.
That kind of stinks too.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so we've got Christopher Cooper said, congratulations on the news. Number 1 item, baby monitor. What? There we go. We're baby monitor, CO2 monitor. Yeah, okay. And the smoke alarm. Batteries. Yeah, for sure. That's a good one. That's actually on my maintenance list to replace every few months. Every 3 months, I think. I replace the batteries on those detectors. Yeah. So that's a very, very good one. Yeah, Jill chiming in here from Canada. Popeye and Olive had sweet pea. That's true. I mean,
that little.
Unique. This is sweet pea right here. Right? It's definitely, this looks like a sweet pea right here, and it's in olive color. It's pretty funny, like little sweet pea pod.
Yeah, so we don't really know. We haven't really settled on anything that we were like really excited about, but
yeah.
We're sure it'll happen.
So coming up, we are in Nashville through the first of the year, and then we're headed down south to Florida, where we will be warm weather. Exactly. So we're going to be attending the RV Super Show in the Tampa Bay area. We're super excited about that. Mm-hmm. We've got some collaborations coming up during that time period as well. But one of the things we wanted to ask you guys is, this is like a huge show and there's a lot there to see. We've got media passes, so we can get in beforehand to kind of like, give you guys like firsthand access behind the scenes. It's like, what would you want to see from an RV Super Show? I mean, are there like certain RVs or people or things you'd want to see? Because we're your representatives here. We will like go out there and we will get them on film. That is our job.
Truth. And Snowdog's vlog says, wait, you're going to be at the RV Super Show? Yes. So if any of you guys are going to be at the RV Super Show, we cannot wait to see y'all because we're very excited.
Snowdog's vlogs. I forgot. Jayco ambassadors. That
would be awesome. We would love to see you guys.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Okay, so while y'all are thinking, we had one more question as far as the names. Do you know for what we're having? Or are you waiting till he or she is born? We are still waiting.
Yep.
So we've had the ability at this point multiple times to find out the gender if we wanted to, but our number one concern is that baby Fernandez is just simply healthy. And we'd be thrilled to have a boy or a girl. So we just decided, too much in life in general these days, and it'd be fun to have a surprise.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that's kind of how we roll. We like surprises and we like to be a little bit spontaneous, even though we're trying to be a little less spontaneous these days because there's a little more required planning involved.
This is true.
Especially with some of the upcoming appointments. So we don't have necessarily as much flexibility, but we do have some flexibility.
Yeah, we're using it where we can get it.
We are.
Hi, Kevin. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so let's see. Okay. Mitchell asked, when is the Tampa RV show?
It is the middle of January.
I think it's January 18th through that weekend. The 18th may be the behind the scenes day. Do you remember?
Jessica, do you know you're also going to be at that show from Snowdogs? The dates of the Tampa RV show?
But yeah, it is mid-January.
It is mid-January.
It's at the Florida State Fairgrounds. And from an RV camping perspective, if you haven't gotten the campground yet, it's no stress because they are first come, first serve.
That's true.
So
the caveat with the campground at the fairgrounds is that it is boondocking. So you'll be boondocking the
Yeah.
entire time.
So we're
Yeah.
not actually staying on site. At least we haven't planned to yet. We're
Yeah.
staying close in Tampa,
Yeah.
just because that's how it worked out best for our plans or whatnot.
Yeah.
But we're really, really excited because we've never been to an RV show, and this one is like humongous.
Exactly. And I think one of my favorite things about it is with the Tampa shows, no dress rehearsal with the Tampa show, any new gadgets.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm kind of a gadget nerd. If they're like new RV gadgets, I'm all about it.
Yeah, that seems
All about
reasonable.
it. So guaranteed there will be some footage on like, what does the future of the RV industry look like? I think that's kind of one of the themes I wanted to go with because we're so curious.
And 2022 is going to be an interesting year for RV.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
I'd be super interested in what y'all's predictions are. We have some of our own.
Yeah.
But I would be super interested in yours. Okay, so
That's true.
the dates too. It's January 19th through the 23rd.
Okay.
So I think it starts on a Wednesday. I think the 19th is a Wednesday and goes through the weekend. We have heard from people who have been before that the best time to go really is during the week because the weekend is going to be a madhouse.
Right.
So just in case you're moving some plans around and making it a thing, apparently
nice.
Weekdays are the best.
Thank you, Parrothead, as well. 21. Very cool name. H. Shalom. Perfect.
Never.
Canyon for RV
Love the
Peeps.
show.
Okay, Canyon Lane for RV Peeps. Okay, I don't know who that is, but we'll look them up.
I'll
Yeah.
look that up for
There's
sure.
going to be quite a few YouTubers there as well. So, yeah.
Should be fun to get
we're
to meet them.
going to get to meet a lot of really cool people. I
Yeah.
think, right?
It's
like,
gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just as cool, probably in person as they are.
Okay.
Who knows?
Behind the Grand Adventure says, well, I found one boy and one girl.
Yeah.
Laban. Okay, that's not one that we've heard before. So that definitely falls under the unique category. And Layla. I like Layla.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of like Laylas, Lana's, like all of those
names
fun names.
Yeah. Elizabeth McCafferty. Love living in Florida. Yes. Oh my gosh. We are missing it. It is Chile up here in Tennessee. It's dipping into the 20s?
20s tonight.
Yeah. And that is
our radiant heating
Chile.
system, though, and our Airstream is doing amazing, which brings us to one note. So one of the things in the Pottery Barn Airstream that we did, not this Sunday, but last Sunday, if y'all saw that video, you may have noticed that we did not talk about the heating system.
Right.
And the reason being is because when we actually shot the video, we were like, why the heck does this not have the radiant heating system? And it doesn't, but it does have a heating system. It has a standard furnace, like an old school style furnace, which is one of the biggest reasons why we feel like the Pottery Barn Airstream would just simply not work for us, because we do end up finding ourselves
true.
Below freezing weather on the regular.
Something somebody mentioned today is that we mentioned the shades were Roman shades, and somebody mentioned today that the newer classic has different Roman shades.
Oh, really?
They don't block out more light. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's good news.
We're under the assumption that Roman shades are Roman shades. But apparently they make a different style of Roman shades for the classic, which is interesting because
that is cool.
If you're on the market for one of those, that would be good to know as well.
We haven't got to actually see. Well, I take that back. We saw the 2022 Airstream Classic in person at the Airstream Rally
International.
In Lebanon, Tennessee, which was in July, and that was so fun. But we were planning on shooting a walkthrough video of it, and then last minute it had to get some tweaks made, and so they couldn't open it up.
That's true.
And so we didn't get to see the inside of it, which was so sad because we had a really fun talk with some of our other YouTube friends that while it was open, we just weren't available.
But we're going to be in Tampa, right next door to our friends, real close to our friends at Airstream of Tampa.
So we're hoping that we'll get to see more, and we'll get to shoot some of the 2022 lineup so that you guys can see more of them in the coming weeks.
That's so true.
They're really cool.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to checking out even some of I know they have like really, really expensive rigs there as well. I've never really stepped foot in something that was like super high end either.
Daniel is currently mildly obsessed with the Prevost. Prevost, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can't afford. That's like
that's a multi-million
it might as well be like a $1 million mansion on the water, and that's way out of our range. But they're like
it's just
crazy.
They're big, but they have a plant or
factory or something.
Here close to Nashville.
Yeah.
And so every time we drive past it, Daniel is like,
we should just stop by.
"Ooh."
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that this week. We'll just like, I'll make a phone call and see if we can just go over there to the
Stop by, make
factory.
it a
And
thing.
yeah. I mean,
Anna, welcome. Merry Christmas to you too.
nice. And twins, Elizabeth, you're saying twins. My mother was one of 2 sets of twins in her family. Her identical twin had fraternal twins. What?
Yep. So on my side of the family, on my dad's side, both his brother and his sister had twins. Like no fertility treatments or anything like that, just natural twins. So we know they run in our family or in my family, but we're keeping our fingers crossed that that's not on our life plan. But you never know. We would totally roll with it if it happened.
That's true.
Because I mean, having a twin has to be the coolest thing ever.
Paul, Mr. Castles, thank you for joining us this evening. Welcome. Joining us from Facebook. So, Pottery Barn. We've got a couple of topics here we wanted to cover. I guess we should talk about what are we
going to do with our lives next?
Yeah. Maybe we'll start with, so there was a lot of things that we weren't talking about initially because we had some things in the works and we were in the final stages of planning for our trip to Spain. We were going to go to Spain for a few months.
Well, so backstory here is that one of the things that Daniel and I were planning on doing before the event that must not be named and is currently becoming a problem again came into play is we were planning on going to a Spanish-speaking country and doing a couple months, 3 at the minimum of an immersive Spanish experience so that once we were blessed with a little mini Fernandez that we would be able to teach him or her Spanish as well, so that with having a last name Fernandez, that would be a thing. And so as soon as we got pregnant and now that the world had seemed to have started to go back to a little bit more normal, we were planning on actually going and staying in Spain from February until April and then coming back and having the baby here in Nashville in May. But
I think they're going through some stuff over there right now. And it may not be the best move for us.
So we haven't totally kiboshed this plan. We're just kind of waiting at this point in time to see how the world comes to
just how things pan out.
Yeah. So we love Spain. We spent some time in Madrid and Barcelona right before we went to Morocco and the world got nuts. So we would love to go back and spend more time there. One of the things we love about Barcelona is it's a very open air kind of city. Like everything has outdoor seating. It's right on the beach. It's just beautiful. And it's a very, very affordable place to live. So we were thinking that we'd park the Airstream here in the States, fly over, get that immersive Spanish experience, and then come back. But like retired Colonel says, he says, wherever you decide to travel, consider
it is
quality medical care and insurance. So we had already gotten insurance covered. We looked at they have
national insurance coverage.
Yeah, one of the best healthcare systems in the world, just in case something happened. But oh goodness, I don't know.
Yeah,
we're still keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona was going to be. We're going to get a flat in Barcelona, and there was a Barcelona marathon, but it just means that a lot is up in the air right now, and we don't necessarily know where we're going to be in
So we could
February.
use some ideas.
Yeah, so if you have, I mean,
I think
that's not how I expected this to go, but if you have ideas on where we should go,
I think
throw them out there.
So we looked at going to the Keys as well, which is a gorgeous place this time of year.
Yeah.
We found just a couple of spots that you could stay, not in Key West, because that's booked out years in advance, but found some places in some of the upper Keys which looked gorgeous. So maybe we'll go do that. They are a little overpriced, and by a little I mean you bring
pricey.
your home, but you still pay what you would pay to go to a hotel, which is kind of crazy. So we don't really know what to do with our lives if we don't go to Spain. We were so excited about our plan.
And Mr. Nault, thank you for clarifying. It's actually Prevost. And you are from Canada, so so I'm forever going to call it Prevost. Newell, I have not seen a bunch of yet, so that's pretty cool. Those things they like tour buses, really.
They're huge.
Really huge.
They're really cool, though.
always see them. I'm like, dang, they're tall and like so much understorage. You fit a lot of people in there. You fit like a family of 10, I'm sure, and they just look big. So I guess comparatively speaking, compared to what we're used to.
Well, yeah, I mean, our Airstream is only 250 square feet.
I know, right? Exactly. And then they like slide out and
yeah, that would be a lot of space.
Yeah. And yes, Miami is pretty Spanish. Absolutely. Or Southern California. We had actually talked about that. Yeah. I grew up in Florida, so believe me, I totally get it. Every time I went down to Miami, like the first language is Spanish, and
we
for
love
me,
Fort Lauderdale.
That's true. Yeah. For me, the first language is Spanish whenever I meet somebody else Spanish, because it's just assumed that I speak Spanish, and I can speak a little bit, but my grammar's pretty crappy.
Pretty rough. Yeah. And Bert, don't worry. We are definitely planning on wandering local, even in Spain.
Yeah, it was literally just to go kind of do an immersion. And that was really the main goal, and then come back here. And we had actually even looked at other U.S. territories, even to travel to, like the U.S. Virgin Islands. And
well, one of the things that we always look at, and we would suggest anybody look at if you're looking at international travel, is checking and seeing what travel advisories are in place. And right now, sadly, most places in the world are at a travel advisory of 3 or 4, which means either A, like they suggest changing your travel plans, or B, do not travel, which really stinks. But at the same time, those warnings are made for a reason. And so we like to heed those. Seems like it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, Photoscape says your friend has 2 Prevo. And they are incredible. That is, if you have the budget for it. Yeah, of course. That sounds awesome.
I hope they use them a lot if they have 2.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Definitely. Anna says, the keys sound amazing. It's a spot everyone wants to get to. Do it. Check it off your list.
And we've been a couple times to the Keys. We've just never taken the Airstream.
I know, seriously. Like the minute I told my dad we had an Airstream or an RV, he's like, so when are we all going to the Keys? Like, that was his first response. That is probably like a lot of people's bucket list location.
But I will say, if you want to plan a trip to the Keys in your RV, I would highly suggest doing that in advance, because we actually started looking at the Keys even before we started thinking about going to Spain. And when we did, there are a lot of the campgrounds down there are really small because there's just not a lot of land out there.
Right.
And so they get booked up really, really fast.
That's true.
So if you want to book a trip to the Keys with your RV, I would suggest doing it at least like a year in advance, or however far. Like, find a campground that you're really excited about, see when they open up their dates, and book that one in advance.
That's true. Yeah, another good recommendation coming in from retired Colonel is the Puerto Rico, of course. Yeah, so that would be another good one as well.
I actually haven't been to Puerto Rico.
Wait, what?
I don't think I've been to Puerto Rico.
Dang, I've been a lot, so I guess I just assumed you had been.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there.
I guess. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Another one. So Anna says everything is locking down globally. Yeah, we have some friends over in England right now, so they're kind of keen to see what's going on over there. No dress rehearsal, Tahiti. Oh man,
that would be awesome.
Yes, that does sound awesome. Jill, you have 250 square feet there. Oh, wait, I think that's a typo. You're saying it's negative 20 degrees here. I'm so sorry, Jill. Yeah, that is, I think that might be a typo. If you were to, that's a no-go. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Jill.
I hope you have a very, very warm clothes, like the Sub-Zero type clothes.
Yeah, Jill,
that sounds horrible.
We want to hang out with you, but negative 20 is a no-go for us. Yeah, that's,
I think I'd probably do okay. You would really like lose your you-know-what.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah.
Dino
I don't even.
Says you take him out of Florida and he starts falling apart. Is what he says.
It's true. Yeah, I'm just I draw my energy from the sun like Superman. So you take me away from the sun and I just start falling apart. You know, I lose my life force.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Let's see here.
Oh, Rich says to get everything out of the Keys, you need a boat. That's where the magic is. Beautiful water island hopping, fishing, somewhere different every day. Yeah, that sounds amazing. When we've been down to the Keys, I don't know what I did. Yeah. When we've been down to the Keys in the past, we did the snorkeling where we got to go see Touchdown Jesus, which was super fun.
That was cool.
My cousins are actually in the Keys right now. We were telling them about that. They have to do that, taking the boat right out.
Yeah, the
there
underwater
to do that is the
statue. Like,
best.
you gotta like swim down and yeah, it's pretty cool.
So much fun.
That's literally what they called it.
We really do love the Keys.
Oh my goodness. Just photo escapes.
Yes.
Yeah, the question for international travels, you can get there, but can you get home?
And considering we have already experienced that back in March of 2020 in Morocco. So if you guys don't know our backstory on that, Daniel and I were traveling internationally for a year and a half before we started the Airstream Life thing. And we loved it. It was amazing. But when the thing that must not be named came to fruition in March of 2020, we actually were in the Sahara Desert and got stuck in Morocco, which was a pretty crazy experience. But we came back to the U.S. on a U.S. rescue flight. And that, like, boy that calls wolf thing is not really on our list of things to do again.
Yeah, no, I feel like if we went internationally and got stuck, the I told you so things would just, beyond all of that, what people say.
We just don't want to do it again.
I don't feel like it could happen. I don't feel like it's possible, but yet again,
but we didn't think it was possible.
I didn't think the world's borders were closed in 48 hours either, and that happened.
So we're gonna heed those travel warnings.
Yeah. And Pappy Sessa, you're born in Lauderdale, lived in Pompano Beach, Lauderdale, Hollywood. Yeah, I grew up in Orlando for most of my life. That Florida sun is just hard to beat. You get a lot of Key West comments here as well. Curious, you said you went to Key West for 3 nights and had to stay at 2 campgrounds. Oh my gosh.
I believe that. That is what we saw when we were looking into trying to book it.
Yeah,
it's like really
one night open here, one night open there.
And we even have some friends who are actually doing the camp work thing at a Key West campground, and even they couldn't get us in because they were so booked. So I mean, like, Key West is definitely one of those that you want to plan ahead.
And Brandon, you're joining us. You're eating some spaghetti in the mean streets of Surf City, North Carolina.
That sounds like fun.
Yes. Here we go. A lot of don't risk it. Yeah, that's coming from Anna on Facebook.
How we're starting to feel about it.
Yeah,
too.
Yuma, Quartzsite, Tucson. Okay, so here's a question about Quartzsite. Because I know a lot of it's boondocking. How is the cellular service there?
That is a good question.
That is something that we've been bouncing around as well. Like if you're boondocking, it's cool, but if we don't have cellular service,
we definitely are still working. So it's a thing.
Yeah.
Hi, Carlos. Happy holidays to you too, sir.
Yes. Mr. Cologne.
So, and also another thing, and one of the reasons that, because that was our original plan for before we found out that we were pregnant, was that we would go out to Quartzsite for the winter. But then we started looking at it, and so we have to be back here in Nashville at the beginning of May, because May 27th is my due date, and apparently being close to where you would like to give birth within the 4 weeks prior to what your due date is kind of a recommended thing. And so we started looking at getting back out west and started thinking about that long trip that we took from California to Tennessee and
that's true.
A week and a half. And we were like, that was so long.
It was long. Yeah, I went from California.
So long.
That was from California to Tennessee. That was a long trip.
And one of the things that we really want to do right now more than ever is slow down a little bit. Yeah. Really take the time to enjoy where we're at in life, and just kind of get used to the idea that we're going to be parents. Apparently nobody actually feels like it's real until the baby gets here. So we just want to enjoy this time, and we don't want to spend a ton of it like traveling long hours. So that's one of the only reasons that we haven't really necessarily considered going all the way out west again.
Yeah, it's kind of a hike. Let's see, we got here. Mr. Cologne, Orlando in the house. Yes, how's the weather? It is in the 20s here, sir.
In Nashville.
It's pretty cold.
We're ready to be in Florida for sure.
Warm
weather is a thing. We're sunshine people. Thankfully, we've had some really good weather here in Nashville, especially last week. It's starting to get colder again now, but we had a lot of sunny weather, and it was in like the 60s, which wasn't bad. But
YouTube Car Spotter Guide, Borrego Springs, dark sky community where you keep your Airstream for the winter.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful.
Oh gosh, that's got to be amazing.
We haven't been there.
No, Borrego Springs. What state is Borrego Springs in? That's
Oh no.
stargazing.
where it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Cool. You know where Borrego Springs is? That sounds. Dark sky parks are awesome.
Yeah, we love those.
Yeah. Let's see.
Teresa,
Golly.
how's Airstream Life? It is really lovely.
Yeah.
We really, so when we were just looking at our schedule this weekend, we have literally had to do some type of travel over a
month.
weekend for over 6 weeks. So the fact that we got to hang out in the Airstream this week,
oh my gosh,
we are going to be here next week too, and just like get to relax and enjoy it.
Yeah,
we love our Airstream.
We got to play catch up too, which is good. Like when you're traveling all the time, there are just certain things that you just can't get to, and that's like some of your basic maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody mentioned that.
Good night, Paul.
Paul, have a great night, my friend. We'll talk to you next time. And YouTube Car Spotter Guide, it's in San Diego. That sounds good. Okay.
We love San Diego too.
Yeah. So somebody had mentioned doing a maintenance sort of thing, and what we do, like pre-hookup and post-hookup. We have got to do that, because we've got the pre-hookup and post-hookup thing. Like, we have got it down to a science, and we've done all the research, so you don't have to. So we know like the best and most efficient gear for hooking up and breaking down a site, hands down, because we've tried them all, and if we don't like them, we donate them. That's what we do typically.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that would be cool. Let's see.
Oh, Mitchell, that's really interesting. We've seen some of that too, that a bunch of YouTubers are talking about burnout lately.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's an interesting time to be living RV life. I mean, when we compare it to December 31st will have been a full year of
in this
our Airstream since we bought it.
But then we had 4 months.
Yeah. So we've been doing this we're getting close to a 1.5 year mark. And we really, really do love it. But we know for a fact that we were trying to go too fast to start.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So slowing down a little bit has made us fall just as much in love with it as we ever were.
Yeah. I mean, like, Mr. Nault there, that's it. Like solid feedback there. I think mental health is something that a lot of people don't talk about. And I think it's very, very important. We're just like an open book. So literally, like this past week, I felt like vomiting all week because I had to go through all my cancer screening stuff. I was just like super nervous. But whenever there are things like that, you need to take some personal time and deal with those things. And we're not afraid to kind of take some personal time
sometimes
for ourselves, because sometimes you got to do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, this feeds our soul. We love doing this so much, and we love talking to all of you. And this is our happy place, and we're on here talking to you guys on lives, and we're responding to your comments, and we get to meet you guys in person. That feeds our soul. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Teresa asked if we know the gender of the baby yet. So no, we are keeping it a surprise. So my due date is May 27th, and whenever my plan is to have the baby completely without medication. So no induction. So whenever he or she decides to show up, that's when we're going to find out if it's a boy or a girl. So that's going to be fun.
It is. Yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, boy or girl, it doesn't really matter.
Nope. Yeah. As long as it's healthy, that's what we're focusing on right now. Making sure we stay healthy, and hopefully that will mean the baby does too.
Yeah, they'll have to run just to keep up with us, because we run a lot.
That's true.
So that maybe not a requirement, but a requirement, or at least we can push him in the stroller. Like there's like those strollers.
Texas Roadrunner. I hope the baby is born with a mullet. That is mean. Why would you say that?
I mean, that is so funny.
I'm still trying to get rid of Daniel's mullet. If you see, like, obviously, turn that way.
Yeah, I mean, look at this.
It's still there.
Glorious.
I mean, thankfully, I've gotten rid of the mustache.
I'm thinking about still there. Yeah, I'm thinking about some, like, maybe just growing it out. Again, like Antonio Banderas in Desperado's hair, like his hair was pretty awesome.
So this is really funny, and Daniel's probably going to be embarrassed that I'm going to tell you this, but he brought it up, so I get to. So one of the things that we have read recently is, so I'm at 18 weeks. We're working on week 18, and apparently the baby's ears are almost fully formed. And they're not quite in the right spot yet, but apparently they can start hearing sounds relatively soon. Yeah. And one of the things that I was reading in one of my books and told Daniel is that apparently the baby can hear lower volume, like lower toned voices And so Daniel has been talking to the baby in
an
an Antonio Banderas accent.
That's true.
Because he doesn't think his voice is deep
I think my
enough.
voice-
So he's been
That's embarrassing.
talking-
That's true, though.
funny though. You have been doing it.
No,
It's
I have been
true.
doing that. Yeah.
So if you
I'm
guys
like,
can,
hello, little baby. Like I talk with like I don't know what I'm doing. It's a silly voice.
it's
I feel like
hilarious. is
she
what
told
it
me you
is.
could hear a lower voice, so I'm always talking with a lower voice. I'm thinking it can hear me down there. Yeah.
So yeah, if you
Be-
guys can think of other lower toned voices that Daniel can start
Emulate?
emulating, please give us all the suggestions because I'm getting a little tired of Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. And Texas Roadrunners. Our plan is to run Chicago next year. So again, throwing that one out there. In case anybody's crazy enough to run a marathon.
Yep. You're more than welcome to run it with us. It'd be really fun.
That's so true.
Okay, so Christina says, question, have you ever thought about joining a caravan or traveling with another family to make decisions easier and having support? You know, we would love to do a caravan. We 100% want to do a caravan to Alaska, hopefully next year, not 2022.
The plan is
but
against
in
2023, right?
2023.
Yeah.
So that's the first one that we've like really thought about doing.
And I think the best part about that is it gives a lot of you time to. There's a lot of people on here that are still waiting to get their RVs that want to go. So
Yeah.
that way, like most people will have their RVs by then. Yeah.
Which would be awesome. But it would be so fun traveling with another family or having, you know, more support. We definitely have friends who are like, oh, we're thinking about getting an RV and like we could come travel with you guys. And we're like, please do. It would be so fun. Nobody has actually taken us up on it yet. But it's always more fun to travel with friends.
And we
So
want to do a
that would be
meetup. And I feel
awesome.
like every time we're in the planning stages of coordinating a meetup, craziness ensues, and then most people, you know, the world changes and evolves and we have to evolve with it. So eventually there's going to be a meetup, but until then we're going to keep doing like RV shows and things like that. So we get to meet y'all in person.
Mario says, am I also trying to talk Laura Lord? No,
Like Scarlett Johansson.
I think that it's hopeless for me. My voice is naturally very high. And I'm just assuming that the baby can hear me because it gets to hear all of the
your
weird
voice carries.
sounds and vibrations
Yeah.
of my body anyway. So
Yeah.
I haven't been trying to create.
I think it's going to be interesting because the baby's going to hear like your Southern twang with my voice, and it's probably going to have something in between. I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either.
What happens when you mix like Southern twang with a Florida boy? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how accents develop.
I don't know
Have
as
you
well.
researched that?
No. Oh, this is a really good question. Teresa, what made us decide to go with Airstream Life? I mean, I've always been a fan. I always thought they looked like spaceships driving down the road. Just fascinated with anything. I'm sci-fi nerd, big time. Really, both of us are
Yeah, we both
sci-fi
love sci-fi.
dorks. We watch like
A lot of sci-fi.
every nerdy sci-fi show.
What's the show we're
that's
watching
our
right
jam.
now?
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Have you guys seen this show? It's really good. It's a new one
good.
on Amazon. It's totally weird and we like it.
Yeah. It's
But-
decent. It's decent. I'll give it decent.
Okay, fine. It's not like the best of the best.
No. There's some, you know, like
But it's
The
good.
Witcher is pretty. Yeah, there's some good ones out there.
But how did we end up doing
Yeah.
Airstream Life? So Daniel had a passion and love for Airstreams. We were traveling internationally January of 2019. 2019. We sold all of our stuff, the house, the cars, everything by the beach. We loved our life in St. Petersburg, Florida, but we realized that we wanted to
Yeah. You know the funny thing
travel.
is, I thought about this. We had our house up on the market for 6 months back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would sell in 6 minutes now.
That's probably true.
The market's crazy, but back then,
It took a little bit of time.
we had it on the market since 2018. Yeah.
So we sold all of our stuff and started traveling, and we decided we would do it in hotels and Airbnbs because
Yeah.
neither one of us had really ever traveled in an RV, and that never hit our radar as an option. So we traveled like that until March of 2020 which obviously that date was a little bit crazy. We were in Morocco at the time, and we're actually in the Sahara Desert doing a luxury camping adventure, which was amazing. And we rode camels and it was greatest, except all of the borders closed and had to take a U.S. rescue flight home. So when we did that, we moved in with my dad in Florida, which was wonderful, but we thought the world would go back to normal, as it's now almost 2022 and the world
about to celebrate a new year.
Still has not gone back to normal. We were not really willing to live with my dad for that long because we're kind of old to be doing that. And so we started looking at different options for us to be able to continue to travel, but to do it in a way that, you know, was safe. And so that's how we found RV life and started looking into it. And Airstream just seemed to kind of fit our style and personality, and we fell in love with it.
I just thought of something so crazy.
What?
Because you mentioned the new year. This time last year, we were literally doing a push for 1,000 subscribers.
Wow, is that true?
That was last year, yeah.
Oh, you're right. That was because that was
we were trying
goal.
to hit like the end of year deadline. We were like, we can make it to 1,000 subscribers. And
yeah, that's pretty cool.
oh my gosh, again, we're so thankful.
What's been so wonderful about our YouTube channel that we didn't really expect. So when one of the other big reasons that we got connected with Airstream and got into Airstream Life was because when we went through the experience in Morocco, we had a lot of press about being stuck abroad, and a magazine wanted to do an article about us as a follow-up, and they asked us what we were going to do. And we were like, well, you know, we'd really love to travel the U.S., see more of our own country. Yeah. And they were like, well, do you guys know the team at Airstream? And we were like, do we know the team at Airstream? No, but I'm sure they're cool people. And they were like, well, we should make an introduction to y'all. And so they introduced us to the Airstream team. And a couple months later, the Airstream team actually loaned us a media unit so that we could create some newbie content for them. There are a lot of newbies out there who have not experienced Airstream Life before, and they wanted to show people what it was like to be a newbie. So since we have experience in videography with our advertising agency, they gave us an Airstream when we were going to go run around the country for a couple of months doing some video. And we fell in love with the Airstream.
We also broke their Airstream, but that's totally, If
you haven't seen the video where we break the awning,
that
was bad. Always bring in your awning.
Continue to say sorry, Airstream. Sorry about that. We didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a good one right there. Let's hit the like button, everybody. Thank you, Christina G. Yeah. That's a perfect way to support us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Was it buggy in Morocco? You know?
It wasn't.
There were some flies.
There were some beetles, a couple of beetles.
That's true.
And they're really big,
cool. Weird, creepy beetles.
Yeah, but they were like, the cool thing is in the Sahara, the big beetles walk across the desert and you can see their footprints. They're
in the sand. Yeah.
I guess it's not a foot. It's their
little leg.
Whatever. Their leg prints in the sand. And it makes really cool tracks. And they're completely harmless. A lot of the people that were with us were just like picking them up.
Yeah.
They just
they look intimidating.
They look intimidating, but they're just totally harmless. And they were just they want to be on their way. They don't want anything to do with you, you know? So
but I will say Morocco is one of our favorite places we have ever been. We have been to a lot of places. And the Sahara Desert should be a bucket list for anyone. It is probably we were there during a very stressful time. And I can still say that hands down, it is the most peaceful place on the planet we have ever been. When you get up in the morning and you hike up a dune and sit up on top of it and watch the sunrise, and you can see the sand moving with the wind. As
far as I can see.
And it's so quiet because you're pretty much the only humans out there that you can, if a fly buzzes close to you, you can hear the fly and he's 10 feet away from you. It's that quiet.
You can hear
it's amazing.
People it's the way the sound travels over the sand. You can hear people in campgrounds that look like they're probably a quarter of a mile away, and you can almost hear them talking from the tops of the dunes. It is absolutely incredible.
Bucket list worthy. You have to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So good question, Kyle. You asked, where did we get our cute little tiny Airstream?
A local shop.
In the tree behind you. Yes.
Yeah.
So we actually found this little guy. Look, it even has a wreath. How freaking adorable
I know, right?
Is that?
We should have got one for the... Yeah.
I know. We need to put a wreath on the front of the Airstream. I saw somebody do that on Instagram today, and I was like, life goals. That looks so cute.
Yeah.
But we got it at this cute little store in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, called
Chef's Market.
Yeah. It's actually a little
Small.
restaurant, but they've got the most adorable little.
It's like a little boutique shop in the front.
Yeah. And that's where we got it. So
a boutique shop with like local artisans and stuff.
Yep.
It's really, really cool.
Yep. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
see.
we need to catch up here.
Yeah.
Anna, yes, they're called scarabs. So we can't.
Okay.
That's the little bugs in Morocco.
I mean, they're big.
Well,
they're
yeah,
big,
they're
but
not
yeah.
really that little,
yeah, no,
but-
they're. Yeah. Christina, let's see.
Oh, this is a good question. How do you get an Airstream to Europe? So we looked into that. So we've looked into just about every way you can get an Airstream to anywhere. So getting our Airstream to Alaska or to Europe, or really any Airstream that is made in the US, well, you can technically,
right?
But because, especially for any of the Airstreams that are over 25 feet, they're wide body. And so they're not really built for the roads in Europe. Airstream actually had a couple international models made. I don't know for how long or how many of them were made or any of the specs around that, but there are European Airstreams. So apparently it's a lot easier if you actually want to travel with it. You really need a European model Airstream versus an American one.
Yeah, here, just to clarify, 25 feet or greater, it is 8 feet, 5 or 5.5 inches wide. Whereas the 25 feet or less, or like you said, 23 or less, is 8 feet exactly. So it's about a half a foot difference between the smaller Airstreams and the larger Airstreams.
Yep, true.
Yeah, so that they consider to be a wide body.
But we have looked into that, and that's one of the things. So you can, some of the easier things to do are getting an RV like to Mexico or to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, I know.
A thing.
It might be a thing.
But from a standpoint of our Airstream, again, same problem. Being 30 feet long in Hawaii is kind of difficult. So that's a
really good question. Do you consider Tennessee, my friend Carlos from Orlando, Tennessee like a second home? It's a great, yes. I mean, I think so at this point. There's a lot to love about Tennessee. There's some great food, great people, even better music.
Well, we love being in the South. I mean, like being in Nashville, especially after we were up north for a little while, like people are just
nice. You know, they hold the door for you here and they say, you know, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. It's really nice.
It's lovely.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, the way I grew up too.
Yes, so, and they may say "bless your heart," and that does not mean a good thing. So,
how many times have you been told "bless your heart"?
Nobody says that.
Nobody says that.
I'm just joking, but I learned these Southernisms. I've been learning the Southernisms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go.
Eric, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're always excited when somebody new finds us. So any tips for a newbie couple who want to full-time in the next year?
Eric, we literally just carved out the top 10 things every new RVer should know before they get started. We're going to release that video in the next week or two, so you definitely want to see that one.
We've talked about a couple, like some of these things. So first question, Eric, let us know. Do you already have an RV or do you need to purchase one? Because that makes a big difference in whether like how full-time life comes into fruition. So for us, we hadn't ever stayed the night in an RV in our lives before we moved into our Airstream, which is pretty extreme. And not only that, we were stupid enough to think that we should just take Airstream from dealership to our house to pack it to hundreds of miles away, which is moronic. It makes for very, very interesting TV, but really stupid, and we wouldn't do it again. Just because you really want to learn your rig before you get really far from home, because there are some realities. A, you don't know your rig and you're going really far, you're going to break things. B, you're going to get frustrated, and when you're frustrated, it's not as fun, and you don't want to get burnt out too early. So if you have a rig versus like you already know your rig and you want to go full time, it makes a difference. Yeah.
And Eric, here's another really good tip. You're going to bring crap you don't need when you full time. You're going to over prepare.
Like all of it.
Like with, you're like, oh, we need like 2 crock pots and like you're going to bring so much crap that you're not going to need. So my advice to you is that's okay. like start traveling with your stuff full time and plan accordingly. So every 3 months we do a purge and we go through our stuff and we say, have we used this? Have we not used this? Are we going to use this? And if we're not going to, we donate a lot of what we don't use. But of course you could probably just sell it online if you want to.
But that's a really good life thing too, not just RV life.
It is, but if you're full time and you have to, you know, be cognizant of the space you have, because you don't have like unlimited storage here. So you're going to want to purge and you're going to want to repurpose a space for how you live in it. And it's different for everybody. So the way you live in your RV may be different than the way somebody else lives in your RV. So kind of getting used to your space and seeing how you adapt to it, and then going through, you know, a systematic approach to organization would be the best advice ever.
Because I mean, we're like even redoing that now. Like one of the things that we did this weekend is we pulled a lot of our stuff out because now we need to reorganize for baby Fernandez. So they need some space. So that's the thing. But I think Eric makes a really, really good point that we actually didn't talk about for this upcoming video that we're doing, that you should just absolutely forget. That Kyle said about just absolutely forget personal space. Oh my gosh, that's so true. Sorry. Baby vitamins time.
Yeah, that's true. But...
so forgetting personal space is so real. Like, I think.
Let's just throw out the obvious here. If you're going to be full-timing, get yourself some poopery. Boom. Mic drop. Everybody needs poopery in an RV.
So thin.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
it's so bad.
It is what it is.
Okay, my heart is in Montana. Did we get any of the rough weather last week?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, but thankfully it was very, very mild compared to what a lot of the country went through, especially like Kentucky.
Those tornadoes.
There were a lot. Gosh. Yeah, I'm sure you guys saw that on the news. So we're about an hour to 2 hours from where the worst of it was. And we were actually in South Carolina when it happened, visiting my family for the holidays. So we weren't actually at the Airstream, but one of the things that we love about Airstream Life and really RV life in general is that people who hang out at campgrounds are basically the most wonderful people on the entire planet. So our neighbor actually emailed us, let us know, they wanted to check on us, make sure we were fine. Because anytime we leave the Airstream, like, and we're not coming in and out, like, for a while, it's kind of questionable as if maybe, like, something might have happened to us and we're just stuck inside of it or something.
You just never know.
But anyway, they shot us an email and they were like, hey, just wanted to check in on you guys. I know the weather's been rough. We haven't seen y'all in a couple days. Airstream's fine. We're like, no, we're just traveling.
So nice, honestly.
Thankfully, we got spared from the crazy weather.
That's another really good full-time RV tip. Like you're not alone. It's you're joining a community of people who help each other. That's really one of the best things about this whole thing.
This is another really good one. Get a good tow truck.
That's true.
Holy moly, that's so important. Yeah. So we were talking about this the other day because I saw a post on Airstream Addicts. So before we started RVing, and again, remember, we were total novices. When we went into the Airstream dealership, we drove up in my Mercedes GLE, and I love that SUV. It was like my big girl car. I was proud of myself for like having grown a business to the point where I could drive a fancy like luxury vehicle. And I'm like, yeah, I want to tow the Airstream with this SUV. And they're like, but you really loved the Classic. And I'm like, yeah. So it can tow it, right? They're like, no, it cannot.
She was like, you're gonna have to sell that.
But I love this car. But it really doesn't matter how much you love a vehicle. Your safety is wicked more important than how much you love it. And so
honestly, for me, it was an easy decision because safety. I was terrified to tow the Airstream. Yeah. So when she says you should get something bigger, I'm like, it's gone. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever we need for it to be safe, done. Like, I'm not going to risk our lives by getting the wrong vehicle. So when they were like, my cousin recommended an F-250 and it was done. And we love it. That's exactly what we ended up doing.
Well, and it has, the trucks really do have, like, they have a lot of options for them to be really a lot like luxury vehicles. Yeah. Like, my Mercedes didn't have heated seats. It had cooled seats. I don't really know why it didn't have heated seats too. Yeah. But the truck has both. And it's so comfortable from a ride perspective. We actually really love the truck.
F. Jones, you just went full time 1st of July and loving it.
Congratulations.
So that's probably the best advice. There's a little bit of a learning curve. Obviously, I don't have to tell you that, but going full time is great. Alyssa, you just ordered the Pottery Barn and you can't wait to get it. You've been watching our videos religiously. Yes, thank you, Alyssa.
Oh, we can't wait to hear what you guys think about it when you're actually using it, because it is so beautiful.
It really is, honestly. And I'm still thinking about that like outdoor tray for the sodas, you know.
So apparently you can order one of those, just in case y'all have seen that 2-in-1 but after we looked at our Airstream, we don't have a window that's good for like setting the side of it, because our windows are like the ones that are on the side are small. And it's like a larger window, so it would be on the back side of our Airstream where it would actually fit. So
man.
Yeah. So
dang, that's right.
Fit the Airstream
and Anna, now I finally know what bless your heart means. That's really funny.
That's
coming in from that's solid right there. Yeah.
Okay, so Eric says he doesn't have an RV yet and not really sure what you want to get.
Right.
Likely a Class C or a Class A. Okay,
exactly.
So
you want to have it all in one. Yeah, I totally get that. You know, with a Class C, you're going to have something that you can drive and park, and the same thing with a Class A. A lot of people with Class A's typically tow like a smaller car behind it. So if they get you get a Class A. We see like a lot of smart cars and Jeeps and, you know, lots of little cars that are towed, not little, Jeeps not little, but you can tow vehicles behind a lot of Class A's. So that would be a way to go as well. With the Class C's, there are some bodies that you can actually unattach from the truck bed and like sit down on stands and then drive the truck to go places. So we've seen that as well.
That's called a truck topper.
Truck top. Well, yeah, that's true. And then they have, of course, some that are built in. Yeah, you know, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Oh, this is a good question. So Eric says, what do we do on the road? So yes, we do work on the road. We are not retired or just like
independently wealthy. Nope, that's not us. We work.
So we actually own an ad agency specializing in helping companies with their branding. And we work with a lot of healthcare companies. Daniel's background is in healthcare, and so is quite a bit of our leadership team. So we have a team of people. We all work together. It's all remote now that, you know, COVID has impacted the world and what, you know, all that looks like. But
we were like a super nerd team of the Avengers, and we kick some butt. It's called Symphony Agency.
Yep.
That's the name of our company. Branding Communications.
It's pretty fun. We love what we do.
We built a dream team around us. So we're so lucky for the team that we have, honestly.
And we're very thankful to have a job that allows us to be able to, if we have an internet connection, we can work, which is pretty much perfect.
That's exactly right.
This is a good question.
Man, that's such a good one. So you're saying you have a 2-year wait for your new RV. How long is the wait for an Airstream?
Mitchell, you're getting the Newell, right? That's the one that you told us the other week that you're getting. So the Airstream. So we were just talking to a dealership in Georgia about this exact same question. Alabama,
right?
Alabama. We were Rocket RV when we were doing the Pottery Barn Airstream and picking up hours, which shout out to Rocket RV. One of the things that we've talked about, and we're going to definitely talk about with purchasing an Airstream or an RV in general, not all dealerships are created equal. Not even close. Even if it's just Airstream to Airstream dealership, like they're not all equal. So make sure you take the time, talk to people online who have RVs similar to yours. Even if you have to travel across the country, I can pinky promise you it is worth it, especially if you want to like shop and get the best price. So not all RV dealerships are equal. We love Rocket RV. They always do an amazing job on our unit and getting us in and out as quickly as possible. So small note.
That's very, very true.
They do not pay us to say that. They just really are that great.
They literally don't.
But how long is the wait for a new Airstream? So any of the Airstreams that don't have the smart computer systems in them,
not mechanics, the automated controls.
Yeah.
Anything with chips. That's exactly
I don't know if y'all have heard, chips are apparently kind of hard to get a hold of these days.
There's a chip shortage. So the higher models that have a lot more, automated systems are back ordered probably close to a year. Whereas some of the flying clouds we've been told and some of the other models, probably 6 to 8 months wait time, which is good because we've heard almost a year on pretty much every single model. Exactly. The back order is, I think somebody said, an article just came out the other day. There's like it's crazy that the backlog, I don't think this is just Airstreams. I think this is across the entire RV industry.
Yeah.
The backlog of RVs is tremendous. I mean, they've got enough work for years.
Truth. Oh, and H. Shalom, that's a good question. So this is another reason why we decided to go with Airstream. It really depends model to model and really year to year too, how much the depreciation is when one leaves the lot.
And let's not, disregard the fact that you really do need to do some negotiating there when you're on the dealership lot as well. So even though some dealers will tell you they do not negotiate, they do. So just stick to your guns. That's all I'm going to say.
Daniel is the negotiation king in our household, and I'm like super Southern, and I'm like, oh my God, please make it stop, please.
No, I grew up, my family was from New York, so like they'll give me a price, and I'm like, I think what you meant to say was like down here, right, as a starting point, and they're like, no, that's way too low. Our cost is higher than that. I'm like, but I think we need to start down here. Yeah, so negotiations, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
So negotiate, take the time.
But that is one of the reasons why we chose Airstream, because they're not as bad from a depreciation standpoint as a lot of other RVs. Especially in this market, if you've taken care of an Airstream or you have renovated one, you can get a pretty mint for them. Like right now, for what we owe on our Airstream, we could probably make money on it, which is crazy, and also a sign of the times and not necessarily a forever thing. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why we chose Airstream. The depreciation isn't quite as bad as it would be with a lot of other RVs.
That's true. Yeah, and again, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Kyle, you've got a very good point here. The used market seems to be leveling out a bit. We've heard of some people that have landed some used Airstreams. So that's a very, very good thing. They don't last long on the market. I've seen that for sure. Like somebody will post it and it's gone quickly, but you can land some used Airstreams as well.
Yeah.
Eric Johnson, you're saying that your gal works 100% remote. She's also in marketing. That's pretty cool. You have to go into the office 1 day a week. Oh, you're like 1 day away from like going full time.
Have you talked to the boss about that? It may be negotiable.
You need to tell them you don't need to be in the office. That's ridiculous. That's why you have Zoom and Skype and all of these options today.
Tales from the Pack asked what the average cost for an Airstream is. I don't actually know the answer to that question.
Anywhere from 50 to 170, 180, I think. The range, because you have to think about the smaller end. You've got your base camps and Bambis, and it goes all the way to, on the other end, you've got your classic, like 33 foot classics would be the largest. So you've got your 33 foot classics all the way down to like Bambis and Caravels and base camps as well. And the Nest they don't make anymore, but yeah, those are so like 50 plus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Becky. Hello. How's the baby doing? Baby is doing good so far. So I am at 18 weeks now. We're working on week 18. Changes weeks every Friday officially. The baby is currently the size of a sweet potato, which I'm a little annoyed about because everything has been a fruit up to this point, and a sweet potato is not a fruit, but that's okay. Everything is going great. I feel wonderful. I kind of feel totally normal, which is a blessing to say the least. Starting to be able to feel the little like flutters that people talk about, which is so amazing.
And we got one of those like little Doppler
heartbeat monitors.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We can kind of like listen into the baby's heartbeat whenever we want to. I would do it every day, but I don't want to harass her every day with a little.
I know, you should see him when he asks like, can we listen to the baby's heartbeat? And I'm like, okay. No, I'm just kidding. It's fun. So I think last time we checked, the heartbeat was like in the 140s, and so all is well. We have a 20-week ultrasound at the beginning of January, which is where like it's fully developed. So you get to see like all of the anatomy and make sure everything is looking good, but all signs point to positive, and we're feeling good and really blessed. So that's wonderful.
That is wonderful. James, that is a good point here about the truck things. They're called truck campers. You can leave them at the site and use the truck to go do other things. They're small, not a lot of room. Yeah, so that's a very, very good point.
We've seen a bunch of those. They're really cool. The first time we ever saw one, we were like,
I was like, that guy just...
That's amazing.
Yeah. He just disconnected his camper and drove off. It had like 4 big stands and he just drove off. That was interesting.
Pretty nifty. Yeah.
This is actually a really good point. Mature owner. So used Airstream. Yeah. pride in ownership, can be great value at much less price. That's true. And you also mentioned that people will age out of RVing. So they get to the point where maybe they don't want to RV anymore, or they want to downsize. We've also seen that as well. We've got some friends that are a little bit older that have a larger unit, and they're just downsizing. So they're going from like a 30-foot to like a 23-foot, I think, because it's more manageable. No, they're going to a class A so they can drive the whole thing. That's what it is. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changing that goes on as well. You've got people upgrading or changing sizes, or just, like I said, aging out of the RV space.
Totally real. Okay. There have been so many comments come through that are so wonderful. I just have to like smile. So Eric, what made us ultimately decide to go full-time on the road? So we were already traveling full-time for about a year and a half, but just internationally. When COVID hit, we were living in Airbnbs and hotels, and that lifestyle no longer worked with COVID. So after living at my dad's house for a couple months and the world not going back to normal, we decided we wanted to still travel and that we were a little bit old to be living with my dad. So that's when we started looking into RV life, and we got into it. It was terrifying at first. And the learning curve was so steep, but we fell in love with it so fast, and probably because of the fact that there is something so special about getting to travel with your home. Previously, when we were traveling internationally, we were literally traveling like two backpacks, international size suitcases. Like we carried as little as possible.
It was really small.
And it was an amazing experience. We love it, and we want to go back to doing some more international travel still. But having your home and being able to wake up in your own space with your things, even if it's not, what you would have in a home, is really amazing. And we just fell in love with RV life because of that.
I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to take a moment here because a friend mentioned that we never ask for anybody to subscribe ever. But if you haven't subscribed, like, please do.
It makes us happy.
Yeah, we don't. We're terrible about even asking in the videos. Like, we're not like subscribe. We're just, it happens organically. If you guys think we're cool, you'll follow us. That's cool. But you're never going to hear us harassing you to follow us. But
except for right now.
A friend mentioned that we should ask. So,
so James, do we want a boy or a girl?
Doesn't matter. Oh, somebody has a preference.
I mean, we've had at the end of the day, we want a healthy baby.
This is breaking news here.
That's the biggest thing. We want a healthy baby.
This is breaking news here. Do you have a preference? Oh man, this is good. This is happening live.
I don't know. I feel like it depends on the day. This week, I feel like it's a boy. And the reason that I feel like it's a boy is because I haven't been all that sick. Like, I've had like 2 weeks of a little bit of nausea, 2 weeks of feeling like I didn't really want to eat hardly anything, and everything looked and tasted disgusting. But other than that, I felt like $1,000,000, which is so wonderful. And I'm so lucky. And there are so many women who really struggle with being pregnant, and like so blessed. But this week I'm feeling like it's going to be a boy. Last week, I thought it was a girl, hands down. So I have no idea.
Okay. So there you go. I am indifferent. Healthy. That's good for me. I don't particularly care. Be happy with either one.
Daryl, this is so awesome. You inspired us to get an Airstream 30-foot full-time. It's amazing. Awesome. Love that. Literally, those stories are the reasons that we put out YouTube videos every week.
And listen, I know like some of you are still shopping, and this is something I want to make 100% clear. No RV is perfect. You're going to have tiny little things that go wrong with it. Some rivets may fall out. You might buy another RV and like a cabinet falls off and needs to be reattached, whatever. But listen, just like push past it. It is so worth it.
Speaking of push past it. That is hilarious. Mitchell. So Mitchell, I feel like it's always you who brings up the poop conversation. But I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too funny.
And if you haven't seen the last video, poop emoji cupcakes. That's all I'm gonna say. Poop emoji cupcakes. That was pretty cool.
Dana was really pumped about this.
Yeah.
This is a darn good question, crew. Holy moly.
Especially from an auto detailer.
It's hard to keep the
San Antonio auto detailing
clean. We will absolutely hit y'all up in San Antonio because Daniel hasn't ever been before.
I've never been.
And I haven't been since I was a teenager. So it's on our list of places that we need to come visit. But is it hard to keep it clean? Yes.
I think it's harder to keep the truck clean. I'm not gonna lie, and it seems like it wouldn't be because we can take it places, but like the Airstream, I feel like we're always. One of our little tricks is that we travel a lot. So when we travel a lot, we leave it at a dealership and we're like, oh, there's a couple of rivets that need to be replaced and it needs to go in for service. And I'm like, can you wash it while it's there?
Well, and more than that though, with the Airstream, so because we move the Airstream and we have to travel hundreds of miles with it, we have to pick up before we move because it's basically a hurricane or, earthquake in the back of the Airstream when we leave. And so because we pick up everything before we go, when we get there, part of my responsibilities while Daniel is setting up the outside of the Airstream is that I clean everything. Like I wipe everything down. I just do like a full run through of the Airstream and it keeps it pretty clean. I mean, don't get me wrong. Could this place use a hardcore detail?
Yeah. And also, we have the ceramic coating on the outside, so that's helped a little bit as well.
But the truck...
I recommend the ceramic coating, actually. So,
we do not give the truck enough love.
No.
We get it detailed like maybe every...
Sully.
Couple months.
Sully's...
It's bad.
Sully's a dirty boy. Sully's a dirty boy.
Every time we take it in, they're like, oh, God.
Yeah. I literally just had it detailed a few weeks ago, and I brought it in, and I picked it up, and I'm like, it's blue. The truck is blue. And he's like, it is dirty. I
don't believe you. Are you sure?
Yeah, because I was like, man, that truck was pretty dirty. He's like, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was rough.
I felt so bad. So, I tip really well too. So
with baby Fernandez on the way, we're gonna have to get better about keeping the truck clean because it's not gonna be able to be the catch-all for our trash and all that kind of stuff.
Ellie Jones, yes, the hair is growing, man. It is. Look at this thing, man. This started off. It was a long journey to get here. So I don't know where we're headed with this hair, but it's going somewhere.
Becky, we don't have any baby names yet. We're taking all suggestions. Our one thing is that we want it to be unique because me and Daniel, well, Lauren and Daniel are not exactly unique names. We both had like multiple kids in our classes in elementary school.
That's true.
That had our name. So we want it to be unique. We want it to be something that is spelled phonetically correctly. So if you have good ideas, let us know.
And no dress rehearsal. Yes. After you've subscribed, be sure to hit that like button as well and ring that bell to be notified of new videos as they drop.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're supposed to say.
Oh, good night, Kyle. I'm sorry we probably already missed this. I think we're behind.
Say hello to Berea as well. Yeah, we're getting a little bit behind, but that's okay.
Okay, are you going to find out what the sex the baby is in January? No, so we won't find out until after we
go in the full length.
The baby.
It's been hard to not ask, but I think it'll be more fun to just let it be a surprise. So
that's our plan.
And we're going to be doing a live stream through the entire pregnancy. I'm just joking.
No, we're not. I love y'all, but
she's already ruled it out like 100 times. No, I'm joking. Yeah. I'll be doing like the play-by-play, like, no. I'll be doing, like a sports commentator. You can do it. I don't know. I have no idea.
About that.
This poor kid. We're ridiculous.
Oh, okay. So no dress rehearsal says so you recommend the ceramic coating, but not the extended warranty through Airstream. So we actually did the extended warranty through Airstream, and that's like a controversial subject.
Ceramic coating? Okay.
Yes, for sure on the ceramic coating. We did it on the outside, did it on the inside. It's been great.
It has been great. I think that we could have definitely gotten a cheaper San Antonio, detailer. You tell us for sure, but I know definitely we could have gotten it done cheaper outside of the dealership. But honestly, we were just so paranoid to let anybody touch the Airstream when we were picking it up because they're pricey. So I didn't want to let anybody touch it. So I just feel like for peace of mind, we had the dealership apply it, even though I now know that it wasn't dealership applying it.
Yeah.
They just outsource it and somebody comes and does it. So
well, and also I think it's fair to note here that we are definitely we like a turnkey solution with the services that we purchase.
Yeah.
We are definitely the kind of people who are willing to spend a little bit more money if it's going to save us time in the long run. And so that's why we decided that we wanted to just turnkey the insurance piece. We have actually used it a little bit. Like from a standpoint of one of the things with our extended warranties and stuff was that it came with a program for tires. So if while you're towing, you get a flat tire or anything, they'll replace it for free. And so we have used that, which was pretty freaking fantastic. Does that account for the cost? Who knows? But we did decide to go for it.
Mr.
Thank
Nault.
you, sir. You are the best.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Thank you
Super
for
chat.
supporting us. It really means the world to us.
Yeah, really. Honestly. Yeah. And you've always supported us, and we genuinely always appreciate it so much. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too, sir.
Let's
Eric
see.
had a good question about Airstream Life.
Eric says, so do you guys typically boondock or use full hookups, stay places for long periods of time, or stay on the move? Gosh, that's a good question. I mean, when we started, you're going to want to do this. And I think there's a lot of people here that
does. I don't know why.
You just want to hustle, and you want to like see everything all at once. And you're just like, let's hit like a different state every week. And at least that's what we thought, plan. Right? That is so hard. It's so hard. So our advice is to just take it easy.
Especially if you're going to be working on the road.
That's true. That's a good point.
We heard from another Airstreamer earlier on when we were doing like a state a week. Yeah. And they were like, we just decided that we were going to stay in a city no less than 2 weeks at a time because we work while we're on the road. And there's always going to be that day or two where, you have to work from, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it just is what it is. And that's part of having a job and living full time on the road. So to account for that, you want to stay somewhere longer. And so we're doing more of that now, which we really love. And it's a lot less stressful. You do have to plan a little more in advance to do it that way, because when you're traveling in short spurts, it's a lot easier to get a hold of a campground versus when you're looking for a spot for 2+ weeks. So that's something to keep in mind there. But do we do more hookups or boondocking? So we've been on the East Coast for a little bit now, and there's not nearly as many places to boondock here as there is out west.
Oh, there's so many places out west.
So when we were out west, we were still learning our rig, but we got to do our very first full week of boondocking in Sedona, and that was amazing.
It went so smooth.
Very shortly after that, we did a trip up the coast of California and then had to run all the way back to Tennessee for the Airstream International Rally in July. And so we didn't get to do a ton of boondocking while we were out there, but we would love to do more. One thing I will say is that boondocking is first get to know your rig before you do it, because it's a lot more enjoyable when you know your rig, because that means you can plan how much water you're going to need. You can plan like how many days do your fresh tank and your black tank last you. There's just 100 things, like always bring paper plates, 100 things you can plan if you know your rig. But
it's one of the mistakes you're going to make too when you're boondocking. You're going to like blow through your water so quickly the first time you boondock, and you're going to go, dang, that water went so quickly. And if you're looking to boondock
on hookups,
you definitely need to have a good understanding of what your tank sizes are and what your consumption is. Because even though we have a relatively large fresh tank, we didn't crush the fresh tank, but what you have to understand is the fresh tank flows into your gray tank, and your gray tank is smaller than your fresh tank a lot of times. So the gray tank will fill up. And you just, when you're not expecting it, boom, you look up and it's like, the first time, I was like, crap, it's 80%. Like,
so real.
I was like, no more showering.
Well, and then also boondocking is very, very weather contingent. You need generators. And if you want to boondock where you don't have to use them very often, you've got to follow good weather. So we were planning on doing some more boondocking after we were in Sedona, Arizona, in Joshua Tree, California. But when we got out there, we we were late May, early June, and it was in the 90s. Trust us when we tell you, you do not want to boondock in the 90s. First of all, your generators are not going to make your AC units run long enough. It doesn't matter how much solar, how much lithium you have. It is not enough to face 90-degree weather boondocking.
Because I think that the hard part is that it was hot even at night. Yeah. So like,
oh my gosh,
not big. Hot. So you think, okay, well, I can run the generators during the day, and then when it cools off at night, and you can in some places, when it cools off at night, you wouldn't need the generators or the AC, but it was still hot at night. So like we were sleeping in our sweat, and not a thing,
Not fun. Not fun at all.
What do we have here? Okay, so Emily
says, I like Emily for a girl. Emily was one of my best friends growing up. I love that name too. Jacob is a good name too. I wonder what Jacob means.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Daryl says, boy, is tummy forward girl is pushing out of the sides.
Okay, well, that's good to know. My bump is still just barely showing up. I've really just gotten like wider, which is awful.
Yeah.
But it's starting to show up. I promise that once
Yeah.
it like makes a real appearance, we'll show you on Instagram. But
Yeah.
we don't know if it's wide or forward yet.
Yeah, I think it's still
Stay
probably,
tuned.
it's probably
Still too early. I mean, not really that early. Apparently, some people already have big
a lot
baby
of guesses, a
bumps.
lot of guesses too as to what gender it's going to be. But
It's a thing.
it'll be interesting because everybody's guessing, we're guessing, and it'll be interesting to see what actually
I'm
happens.
sure next week I'll think it's a girl.
I know you shocked me tonight.
It's a thing.
I didn't think you were swaying one way or the other, but
No.
that's interesting.
Okay, Becky
Yeah.
says, "How do we do laundry?"
Yeah.
Do you know how we do laundry, Daniel?
Easy. Yes. While we're in Nashville, her mom lives 15 minutes away. I'm joking. No,
No,
I mean,
but
that
we
is
really
actually
do
that is actually what's happening right now because we're so close. But normally the campground laundry units, laundry machine.
Laundry machines is how we do laundry.
Yeah, so clearly I don't do laundry. So
Yeah, I do laundry, so that's why I was
The
asking
laundry
to see if I
units.
could give him a hard time.
Those
But
things.
one of the things that with RV life that you will learn very quickly is there are two things, well, really three things, although we don't take advantage of the third one enough, that you will mooch from people that you know and love. First is laundry.
Yeah.
Second is showers.
That's true.
Third is driveways.
Yeah.
So if you're living RV life and you are close to a friend, family, or loved one, then mooching off of those things is 100% normal. But
power hour in the shower is like the
it's
best.
a real thing. I mean, an RV shower is just never going to be able to live up to BreakIn.
The hot water tanks are sufficient, definitely, no question. But like,
it's not the same.
You're not going to shower in like boiling, steaming hot water for an hour, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. But most campgrounds have laundry. Some state parks don't, but all of them will tell you if they've got laundry in advance or not. So we just kind of plan accordingly. There are times when I'll go like 2 weeks at a time without doing laundry, and that's the thing. Hold on.
Eric. Boom. Eric. Mr. Johnston, sir.
You are very, very welcome.
Are awesome.
And we are happy to answer your questions. We love that you guys ask them. That's the whole purpose of this, to get to share some of our knowledge and answer those questions.
Yeah, and Eric, again, like we'll try to do these more more consistently than we have in the past. So you can always jump on here and fire off some questions. We just try to answer as many questions as we possibly can. Sometimes the chat gets a little crazy and we try to keep up, but we can't. But I promise we value like every comment here. We just can't always see them all when they're coming through. So,
but we appreciate the questions. It makes us very happy.
It really, really does. Let's see here. Mr. No, yes. If the bed was straight that night, it'll be a girl. If the bed was making noise, it'll be a boy. Well, you just I guess we'll find out when it comes out. According to that logic, you'll know how the bed was.
I mean, to be fair, the bed in the Airstream is always straight.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Let's see. Christina, thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate these conversations, honestly. I mean,
they're fun.
Yeah, I mean, we really, really, truly enjoy these live chats, and we truly enjoy creating the content. If you have content you would like us to create, if there are things you want us to cover, like Eric, those are some great topics, and we definitely have a video coming out that we've already mapped out. But if you have some content ideas,
we're all ears.
This is like, I feel like this is we're a community here. So, if there's some stuff you want us to create, we'll do it. We'll create that type of content.
Truth. Okay. Yeah. This is a good question. How many kids or families with kids actually full-time in Airstreams? Yeah. So we were really surprised to know that there are quite a few. I mean, I'm sure we get to see a lot more of them because of Facebook and YouTube, which is a wonderful thing. But I have a couple of digital girlfriends who I have met through Instagram, who all have kids, even little ones in the Airstream. One that just had a newborn, one that just had twins, which is amazing. So it's totally doable. And we're excited to give it a shot. I mean, who knows? We may find that we don't love it. And if we don't, it's a thing. But for now, I just can't imagine not loving it.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it a shot.
That's true. We'll just see how it goes. And James has a friend with 2 Prevos. So Maybe we can borrow one.
We need to move into
I mean,
if
we need. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah, it's kidding.
No, we are really excited about getting the Airstream like set up for baby Fernandez, because this place really needs A, deep cleaning, and B, to be reorganized again. So if y'all saw our video that we did with Cece,
Lily's Organizing.
who's the owner of Lily's Organizing, we did that in San Diego,
awesome.
California, and it was amazing. So we're going to be redoing that in the near future, because I'm sure, as y'all can imagine, Daniel has collected a lot more shoes since then, and we need to make space for baby Fernandez. So we're probably going to be doing an Airstream organizational video coming up soon about how we're going to organize for the baby.
We need to make room for baby Fernandez's shoes, because there's going to be a lot of those too.
Becky says do a day in the life.
A day in the life. That's an awesome one. We definitely need to do that.
We've done one day in the life video. It's a long time ago. We need to do another one.
There's one we filmed, so go through the catalog, but it's going to be different today.
You know what's so important about our day in the life today?
What's that?
I have a matcha tea maker set.
That's true. You've gotten fancy. So I've always been like fancy bougie coffee guy. Now she's gotten fancy like matcha.
I love matcha tea, which Daniel thinks just tastes like grass, but it's like, I love it. It's my favorite. And so I finally got a matcha tea little set, and I'll have to show y'all because it's really cool.
Yeah. Alyssa, this is a really good one as well. You're saying love to see a video of an average workday in the Airstream. We definitely need to do that. How we manage internet connectivity. There's 2 videos that we've shot on that. Very, very important videos you'll want to watch, because we have gone through all the frustration of the internet stuff. So
that was like the biggest nightmare of the first 6 months.
Oh, that was working on the road with crappy internet was horrendous.
So rough.
If you look at some of our first live streams, you'll wonder why a lot of friends that are still on here following us today, why they even stuck with us. It was so bad. It was so bad until we fixed it. But
now we use a company called Bix Wireless, and we have an unlimited internet package with them. They are wonderful. They're family owned. They're based out of Tennessee. Yeah. I don't know. I said Kentucky. Yeah. They're based out of Tennessee.
So that's how you fix that.
And they overnighted a solution to fix our internet woes, which was amazing.
Literally. So if you do call them, like, just go straight. This is like the inside scoop, but ask for Steve. He's like the owner, and we interviewed him on one of these shows here. So
he's a genius.
Watch that video and watch the video with Steve in it. And then if you have any questions, he'll even just answer questions, even if you don't buy from him. He's just like a super cool dude.
Yeah. That's totally true.
So that would be a really good one. And then working in the same space, we'll have to cover that as well.
Yeah, we really watch each other's calendars. That's one of the very first things that we do at the beginning of every week. Like on a Sunday, we'll say, okay, we'll pull up each other's calendars. We use Google Calendar, and we'll say, okay, what do we have that overlaps? Who can move what? Or, are we going to have to take one of these in the truck and one of these in the Airstream? So it's definitely like a little bit of a shuffle game to make all that work. But we should totally do that. That's an easy one.
I know.
Okay, stay tuned.
That's a really good. Yeah, good topics.
I guess anytime we think about like showing an average workday, we're like, oh, y'all are going to be really bored just watching us stare at our computers.
We do a lot, though. I mean, it does. It's.
But there is a lot that goes into like the behind the scenes of how it actually comes to fruition.
Hey, listen, like it'll be unfiltered, because there are situations where we accidentally overbooked on each other's schedule, and I'm outside, and sometimes I'm outside, and it's like 30, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope she gets off of her like Zoom call, because I'm also on a Zoom call.
Yeah, that has happened. And Daniel always gets the end of the stick on that.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna make her go outside, so I go outside in the cold. Oh man!
Wait a second, we've got another super chat, Gloria.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You guys are the best. So Gloria and her family have been following our channel for a while. They also were one of our sponsors for the New York City Marathon, for the fundraiser that we did to raise money for cancer. Thank you, Gloria. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all the love from the bottom of our heart. Yeah, that. Yeah, you have to.
Your card still.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't seen the New York City Marathon video, one of the things, at the end of it, we do our announcement about baby Fernandez, but really the best part of the video was people like Gloria who sent in their donations and got to tell us a story about people that they know who have battled cancer. And it was just a really, really heartwarming experience. I swear we cried on the New York City Marathon. Of course, like half of the time from reading these stories, they were just really, really beautiful and amazing. And that translated into the video. So if you do get the chance to watch it and you haven't already, bring a tissue box. I promise there will be tears, but there are also tons of smiles and laughs. And it's really, really
that will forever be one of
Gloria.
The best videos, one of my favorite moments ever in life. Yeah, it's one of those moments where we'll look back and we'll always remember that race.
Yeah, it was super wonderful. Okay, Eric, I'm sorry. Back to your question. So one of my only concerns with full-time RV life surrounds security. Any concerns there? Have you guys ever ran into any issues on the road?
Honestly, the campgrounds, no. It's typically when we drive the truck into the big cities, like you might have missed it earlier in the stream, but our truck was just broken into. And we were downtown in a parking area, and they broke into 5 trucks that night.
We weren't towing the Airstream.
We weren't towing the Airstream, exactly. In a campground, we leave stuff outside of our camper a lot. Generators and and honestly, like never ever any issues. And we know people that have boondocked 90% of the time. They've never had any issues.
Although we have heard e-bikes get stolen all the time.
That's true.
So if you have an e-bike, don't leave that out. But normal stuff apparently is perfectly fine.
That's true.
I don't know why. I think that from a standpoint,
e-bikes are pricey and they're easy to probably grab, so you want to keep those locked up.
And also from a concern standpoint, we really haven't run into much, but it just kind of comes down to the same travel acumen that you would want to have anywhere. Pay attention to your surroundings. Like if you don't feel good about a campground, we have had an experience where we got to a campground that we had booked and we just didn't gut feeling didn't feel good.
Didn't give us the warm and fuzzies, so we literally turned around and pulled
found
right
somewhere
out
else
and told them we weren't gonna and got a refund.
No big deal. So I would just say same thing as when you would normally travel. Trust your gut. Follow your intuition. Same thing with boondocking. We would always suggest to go and scout your site before you're towing your RV.
That's a good point.
Because there are tons of apps that are out there that can tell you about great boondocking spots. And they have review systems, which are fantastic. They can show you like what the quality of the internet is, where it's going to be. But best advice we ever got was go out, scout your system or scout your spot before you go. And we've been to places where we were told it was going to be awesome, and we got there, and it had been a year since that person had stayed there, and now it was run down, and it looked like you didn't want to be there.
Yeah. So, and another good boondocking tip is that when you're scouting, don't be afraid to get out and just say hi to the people there.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We just got out. We just started chatting with the people there, and they were like, I know this is not proper boondocking etiquette because it's always first come first serve.
Yeah.
But they actually reserved a space for us to pull in, and that was so nice. And we ended up becoming really good friends with all those people, still to this date. So just don't be afraid to get out and just talk to people.
Yeah. Because campers are the most wonderful people. We really have not run into anybody who is not just wonderful, basically.
Yeah. H Shalom. I wanted to do the DAV 5K, but couldn't find anyone to help me. Help me with the wheelchair. Let me know, what is that? So do you need somebody to push you in a wheelchair?
Daniel would do that.
Man, I'll push somebody in a wheelchair. I'll push somebody for a marathon in a wheelchair.
We
if you want me
actually
to.
had the chance when we were at the end of the New York City
really
Marathon to run with a woman who she was actually training and doing the New York City Marathon because she was running with handicapped athletes, which was so freaking cool. And she was telling us about how rewarding that experience was.
Yeah.
So that sounds epic.
Yep.
Teamwork makes dream work.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Mitchell Nault. Yeah. That marathon video, seriously, gosh, you have to watch that if you haven't seen our marathon video. It's so worth it.
Yeah. And Mitchell also mentioned he encouraged to read reviews about the campgrounds that you're choosing. I would agree with that too. That's one of the ways that we actually pick the campgrounds that we're looking at for. Right. So we always look for locally owned campgrounds, which somebody just mentioned about KOA. There are a lot of locally owned KOA campgrounds too, which we did not know when we started this adventure. but we go mostly to Google Maps to search for the campgrounds that we're going to be looking for because we want to go local. And looking for ones that have 4+ star reviews is typically where we start. So reviews are definitely a super, super helpful way to get more insight into a campground before you show up there.
And Jill, you don't have to worry about it. When you're coming down to the US, you just let us know if you need like an ambassador to help. Yes, we will help you out.
Truth.
We will give you all the feedback. You just message us and we'll tell you.
Okay, so
everything.
Gloria says, what do you think about the flying cloud with the hatch? We are obsessed with the hatch.
If I knew where you could put a hatch in this thing, like that hatch is awesome. I mean, we don't have it, so we don't know, but every time we see it, we're just always impressed with that cool hatch because, and it's got the screen too.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's got the screen. So like you can eat at the, if you don't know about it, it's kind of like in the rear of the Airstream like this, and the back just pops open and you just have an entire view and you can just pull down the screen if you want to.
So cool.
Yeah. And you can just, and there's a table right here where we're at. And you can just like have your coffee in the morning and then just enjoy the view. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Yep. Okay. Another good question. Becky asks, did we go camping as kids?
Tent camping a little bit. Yeah. I did the Boy Scouts growing up. Cub Scouts, Cub Scouts, Weeblo, Boy Scouts. You'd think I was an expert camper, but I seem to have lost all of that, kind of like my Spanish skills.
And I still can't talk you into going tent camping because that is on my list of things that I really want to do. But Daniel doesn't like bugs, so that's kind of
I mean, I feel like tent camping video
I've never been tent camping, so that's why I want to go.
So somebody said you need to parent and lead by example. We're gonna have to, and I'm gonna have to like show everybody
your brave bug skills,
professional tent camping skills.
You don't have those. We're gonna have to start working on them soon. Then
we're gonna have to try a tent. I mean, they make like I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words right now when I think about a tent.
So
seriously,
I did not camp as a kid either. I did Girl Scouts, which I absolutely loved when I was a kid. But for the most part, we stayed in like cabins and stuff versus like really camping. We made some really seriously good pineapple upside down cakes over campfires though. And I still love s'mores, specifically with peanut butter, because that's the way they should be made. But no, we didn't do much camping at all, but we love the lifestyle now. And I feel like we're kind of like half glampers, half campers. Like kind of depends on the day.
That's true. H. Shalom, yes, I saw your comment about letting you know when I'm in the Joshua Tree area. I will definitely push somebody in a wheelchair. Any race. Yeah, I don't care what it is. Just literally is automatic. Sign me up. I will be there 100%. So
I love it.
That would be cool. Yeah.
So there are a bunch of you guys say that you have been tent camping. Y'all probably haven't heard me talk about Daniel. The only experience Daniel and I have had with tent camping together was in Zion National Park or just outside. I had this genius idea when we were traveling internationally that, oh, hey, Susan, thanks for coming to hang out with us. That we would do something unique. And so I found these Condesoto wagons, like from the Oregon Trail that you can stay in. And so I'm calling it tent camping because in the little wagon, it's just like a piece of cloth, but it was almost half glamping because there were like beds in there. And like, one was like a big king bed and two like twin beds. But Daniel woke up in the middle of the night because he said a bug fell on his face and he wanted to go to the Marriott.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. Yeah.
That's so true. It's my favorite story. I love to tell
I know you love telling that story.
Because it's hilarious.
It is. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think he could get to professional tent camping skills.
I think I could. Kind of like my professional gift wrapping. Yeah. So if you haven't seen today's video, my gift wrapping skills are like,
oh yeah.
You got like the average gift wrapper here, but then there's like me. I'm like way up here. Even down to like the finishing touches on the outside. I mean, I like nailed the gift wrapping, I think. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I feel like Susan's family's like plan makes sense. We had a tent trailer because my mom loved my dad and said she'd go camping but wouldn't sleep on the ground.
Yeah, no, I mean, a cot would be good, and a cot with like memory foam topper, maybe, and also a coffee maker with a
milk frother.
And I'm good.
I mean, that's part of
Coffee
what
maker,
Airstream is really about.
milk
Being able to
frother.
live like the camp life, but like the glamp version of it.
I mean, let's be honest. The RVing today is not like probably it used to be. I mean, it's a lot bougier than it used to be. You know?
Real.
Some of the RVs that they're making today are so crazy. They have like so many crazy amenities.
They're like luxury little mansions on wheels.
I know. They have like outdoor TVs and sound systems and all kinds of crazy things.
Yep.
It's pretty wild.
No, it's real. It's real. But all right. Well, since it is Sunday night and we do have to work in the morning, we really should get going. Plus, as you guys saw, the baby vitamins alarm went off, so I gotta go take those. It's a real thing.
That's true.
But thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, guys, and asking us all these questions and supporting us with all of the likes and comments and super chats. Y'all are the best.
Honestly. But until next time.
Are you gonna say it?
No, this is your thing. This
I
is
know,
your
but
thing.
it would be really cool for you to say it.
Until next time, my friend.
Merry Christmas.
And
Happy holidays.
it threw me off a little bit. It's your line. It's your line.
You can do it.
No, I forgot it already.
Make sure
to wander local this week because, as you know,
it's good for the soul.
It's good for the soul.
Bye, guys. Have an amazing holiday, and we'll talk soon.